The guest that I have today, hilarious comedian, amazing podcaster, Ryan Sickler. How the hell are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited to be here.
I want to let you know, Honeydew is his podcast. If you don't listen to it, you're stupid. The most compliments I get from any podcast appearance I ever have done is yours.
Is that real?
Yes, I wouldn't fucking blow smoke up your ass.
Listen, this is something that honestly, I always wonder if it's true because I can't tell you how many people tell me that, and it blows me away that my audience is so involved and like it's like your kids go. I say this all the time. They're going over to a sleepover or whatever, and when they come back, you're like, your children are so well mannered and so polite and respectful, so helpful, and you're like, man. And I feel like that about my fans, like. Anywhere I go, people are like, you have the best fucking fans. I'm like, thank fucking God. Yeah, they are great.
It is.
So
I
really
got,
nice
yes.
to hear.
I got a lot of followers from you, and the ones I did get also now listen to this. And nice. And I remember you even telling me, you're like, have you seen, did you go on YouTube? I'm like, I don't want to read the comments. The comments weren't that bad.
Nope.
And I
mean, there's always a couple of grenades in there, you know. There's always one, go fuck yourself, or you suck, or whatever.
Well, those are fine, though. Yeah. But there wasn't a lot of, like, I was like a trans man or something. There was a lot of, like, which is all I'm getting right now. Oh, I'm a full trans online. That's it. That's like, I might have to go full trans at this point because everyone thinks
What are you talking about? That's what people are saying about
I had a video go viral on Instagram and TikTok last week. I'm trans. Every comment, wow, trans people aren't funny. Trans men are gross. I hate men now. That's a man. What is that thing? Like, nonstop. It was fucked. It was fucking crazy.
You're not even kidding.
I had to block over 500 people.
What?
Oh, yeah, bad.
Listen to me.
We'll
talk off when we get off this recording.
But if I show people that... I want to show you the guy I'm fucking right now, how hot he is. I swear to God, I'm fucking this man. He's so fucking hot. I'm not gonna show it on screen because in case something happens. Look at this man.
Yeah, he's a hot.
It's a hot man.
Yeah.
Then he's gay. Then that man's gay. Then every man I'm fucking is gay, and I'm fucking a couple people. I'm getting around.
Does he know that?
Nah, no one knows.
You might want to cut that out.
He's not listening to my podcast. No one listens to my podcast.
He's a pilot. He's just up there listening to you talk about
training
this
me to be
shit.
a pilot. I also want to say, so on your podcast, which is so... It's a good chance to be open. That's why I try to make this about stuff that you don't always talk about on every other fucking podcast. Yeah. So I openly talked about being bullied really bad in high school. And one of the bullies I mentioned on your podcast.
This is crazy. I just saw you at the Comedy Store the other night. You're like, I got a fucking story to tell you. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I'm dead serious.
This is that story. Thank you for remembering.
Of course I remember, because I was like, I have to tell you this. So this guy, Mike, I think it's fine to say one name. Mike bullied me heavily in all through high school, and he ran into one of my good friends, Ashley, from high school, and they were talking, and I got brought up, and she's like, how's Steph doing? And she's like, really great and stuff. And then she's like, yeah, she did a podcast where she mentioned you. And he was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, you really bullied her badly. And he's like, what? And then he's like, I had this pit in my stomach, whatever. She's all upset. So he goes home, listens to the whole podcast. He waits like a week or so.
Hope you subscribe, Mike.
Like and subscribe.
Give us
both
a positive
podcasts.
review, Mike.
It's just him going trans woman on every fucking podcast now.
Yes, it's all him from one account. You blocked him 500 times.
It was him. He was so pissed off. That could be very accurate. But
he could be 300 of those.
He DMs me, so it was also the craziest timing. So the same day I broke up with my boyfriend, my grandmother died, and later that afternoon he DM'd me. No. Same thing in one. It was fucking crazy.
This motherfucker.
I was like, odd timing. So I opened my DMs, and it's like, he's like, I just want to let you know I have something to say to you. You have if you don't want to reply to me, I understand it. I have something that I need to tell you, and if you want to listen to it, I'll tell you. And I was like, I'm ready for this. So I'm like, hey, Mike. I'm like, what's going on?
You called, or is
no,
it
was all DM and over Instagram. Then he sends me this long apology that was really heartfelt, and honestly, like, it was so nice to hear it. And he's like, I understand if you don't accept it. And I was like, I do accept it. I accept your apology.
So he owned it. He didn't deflect. He didn't gaslight. He said, look, you're right. I did treat you like shit.
He's like, I treated you like shit. He's like, I'm so sorry I did that. He's like, I was getting bullied too at the same time, and I felt like shit. And I was like, the whole thing it came together, and I was like, there's still one guy.
Want to fuck Mike?
No.
Don't tell me you're fucking Mike.
No. Mike has a wife and kids, which is hilarious because he did say also in the message, he's like, my wife found out and she's mad at me. She wants me to sleep on the couch. I'm like, that's hilarious. I'm like, if this has gone on with this
His wife's like, you son of a bitch. I knew it. I told you.
You fucking bully.
Yeah.
But there's one other, Nico. If you're out there listening, this is the one other guy who bullied me so badly. You're the last motherfucker to apologize here. Everyone else has come clean.
Everyone. How many?
There's a lot. Well, two of them apologized to me in high school because they knew they were mean. But this one guy, Nico, was like the worst.
This dude heard the episode and was like, man, I got to own that shit, and called you. And now are you in communication, or was it just a nice, hey, my bad, you're like, I accept, and you're gone?
He comments on some videos I post sometimes and like DMs me like,
Is he buying any merch, coming to see shows?
You better be coming to my Toronto show December 14th.
You better, motherfucker.
Danforth Music Hall. But I just felt it was really nice, and he did it in such a nice way, and it didn't sound like forced, and it felt good.
Good for you.
So I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for mending a piece of my soul. No, okay, I wasn't that hung up. Can you imagine?
It's pretty wild. I just did Dave Anthony and Gareth Reynolds' new podcast, or newer podcast, and Dave I had on, and he told a story about his father, and his father contacted me. And I was like, yo, your dad emailed me, and I sent it on to him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he was not happy about the way he was portrayed.
Really?
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I try to keep my parents out of this. I don't think they listen. My mom doesn't listen, and she's the one I'd be shitting on.
It's just funny that it's interesting because, I'm 50 now, so I'm an 80s kid, right? I grew up in the 80s. There's no cell phone. There's none of that shit. Video games are just coming around. And you don't think that something you're going to do to someone back then is ever going to hit you down the road. Right? You don't need, because why would you put that in your head at 10 years old or 12 or 15 when you're bullying somebody? And then that fucking person goes on to be somebody. Then we all get cameras and we all get to say and do whatever the fuck we want to do. And it comes back and bites you in the ass. How many years later for that guy?
Oh, fuck.
18, out of high school, and you did the podcast a year or so ago. So how, 20 some years?
Yeah, probably 20 years.
How about that? How about that?
And then I started reflecting, like, there is one guy that I think I need to apologize to, and I'm like, I think I'm David, if you're listening.
Let me make my
no, because now I'm like, it makes you think, and I'm like, it's just also, we're all kids, we do fucking stupid shit anyways, but it's like, it's nice to own up to it.
So Nico's the one that owes you now, huh?
Nico owes me big time. Was
he worse than?
Oh, he was so bad.
He was the worst?
Oh, yeah, he slapped me across the face.
What?
My Halloween mask off. Oh, he was so bad. No,
How old were you?
He was the worst. Grade 9.
How old was he?
Same age.
And he smacked you in the fucking face. Man,
Nico
where was your dad?
A piece of shit. No, if I told my dad, he'd be dead. Nico would be underground.
Exactly, yeah.
Nico would be buried alive if that happened. But yeah, I was telling you too, I wanted to go back on your pod because I have new stories, but I don't know.
Please, clearly you do.
I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Junior pilots.
Oh, I'm fucking like I fucked so hard the night I broke my bed.
Listen to me. I told you.
I swear to God.
I saw you at the Comedy Store. I said, I love you. Listen, please get tested and be fucking smart out there.
No, I am getting
Steph,
tested.
don't have a road baby.
I'm not having.
Don't have a road baby.
My eggs are dead. You think there's something in there? Those things are not. They are like.
They're not. Every woman likes to say this, but I'm telling you, I had my daughter when I just had turned 41 and her mom was 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
things are different these days.
I know, but I've
we're
never.
Not getting out when we're not leaving here and getting into a fucking wagon. You know.
You didn't see me. I came in 2013 Subaru Outback. I am getting into a wagon.
You technically
a lesbo wagon.
You are.
Again, I'm straight. I have not been. I have not been using condoms. I will say.
What, Steph?
I got tested recently. I'll get tested again. I love the clinic. I hang out there all the time. AHF, shout out, great clinic.
How do you feel about chlamydia and things like that? You love those?
No. I haven't gotten. I literally just got. I fucked the guys already. The three of them. There's three. Okay, I gotta stop. I have a problem. There's three in rotation right now.
Okay.
And I fucked them all, and then I waited a couple weeks, and I got tested, and then it was negative. So then now I'm like, well, I think we're in the clear.
Well, I can stay and keep going.
No, I need to wrap it.
But here's the thing about the math. Do you think you're the only one in their rotation?
No, absolutely not. Yeah. So
and you don't know if Vicky has chlamydia or whoever it is over there.
I know how STDs work, Ryan.
So just be careful. I love you, and I'm telling you to be careful.
No, I'm very
bounce
sensitive.
on all the dicks you want, but just be careful.
No, I'm good.
Go find
I know
someone's heart.
I will.
Go find.
I don't want anyone's heart. I'm having a fucking blast. But I busted my bed so badly that he left at 3 a.m, and I had to duct tape all the legs back together.
Why is he not
Otherwise,
helping?
I couldn't sleep because we don't think it was that bad. Like all of a sudden we heard like a, and then I was like, and he's like, is the bed okay? And I was like, keep going. So aggressive. Don't you dare fucking stop. We're just smelling all this like pine.
Pine.
I'm like, keep going. Tell you what, West Elm doesn't make the best bed frames. I thought they did. $1,000. And fuck you, West Elm. I had to buy a new bed. I have a new bed coming in tomorrow. This is a nightmare.
Oh my God.
No, it's a fucking. But yeah, he laughed, and then I got in the bed. He laughed, and I got in the bed, and it really sunk down. I was like, and then my dog sleeps with me, so both of us got in there, and I was like, oh, we got problems here. And then literally, I had to get up, turn the bed over, duct tape all the legs back on, and just like get in really and not move because I was like, I'm gonna wake up.
This is your cuddling after sex. This is what you had to do.
I am like, get the headlamp on. We got some work to do. Get out the screwdriver. Get out the drill.
Oh my God!
No, it was so stupid. It was so dumb. But I have a new bed coming in tomorrow. So I'm not joking. The bed's done.
Yeah, what?
The bed's fucked.
Is it reinforced?
I'm gonna have to put some blocks under there.
Is it reinforced? What's new about?
I have a whole new one coming in. It's got a fun bed frame.
Oh,
I'm gonna soil that.
Steph.
That's for sure. Yeah, that's a lot.
Christ.
I'm sick. I don't know.
Also, don't get murdered. Okay, don't get fucking murdered.
I'm not
I'm
murdered.
scared. Just come on, man. It's a wild world
It is.
out there.
No,
Have
you're
fun,
right.
but be fucking smart. Please.
No, I think
if you
I
ever
have.
need help, fucking call me.
Thank you.
I'll come over with my bad back and a baseball bat, but I'll get in there. I'll get in there.
Okay, I want to get into. Okay, what are you doing right now? You're on the road. You're back in.
I've been doing like so just to preface, I went in for a back surgery in January, and we'll get into that. But right now, I've been doing like 15-minute spots. I still can't. My tour doesn't start till the end of this month.
Okay.
Right, and some of it's because I need to recover my lungs, all these things we'll talk about. But I still can't stand for an hour.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Andrew Santino said that, and I was like, fuck, I can't. 15-minute spots, I'm fine. But that seems to be about my limit of standing still-ish right now.
Okay.
And
are you opposed to doing like this sit on the stool type thing?
I don't want to sit on a stool for a couple reasons. It's not my style. I also feel like I'll get used to it and comfortable with it and never want to get up from it.
But
Like,
doesn't it feel
like the girl, the little mini cart? As soon as they put me in a cart, I'm done.
You're done.
I'm done. I'm souping it up, all of it. Yeah,
souping it up,
everything.
Getting the spinny things on the wheels. I feel like I sometimes see a comic walk on stage and immediately sit down. Sometimes I'm like, I wish that was me, because now I'm like, I'm stretching before I go on. I'm dying. I'm sweating my dick off.
Yeah.
I usually have to bring an extra pair of underwear when I'm headlining 2 shows in a row. I'm sweating so bad. I gotta change in the bathroom. I'm soaked. It's not easy walking around up there. I'm walking. I'm squatting. It's too much.
You are very.
I have a lot of act outs. And this new bit I have where I'm bouncing around on stage, and like the worst thing is it's not getting laughs. So I'm doing this massive bouncing around act out to no laughs. You know how embarrassing it is to do a full hop across the the stage with nothing. No, okay. So let's get to the beginning. So you going for back surgery? You going for back? Like, this is crazy. Yes.
Originally, it's sold to me as a not simple, but a 3-hour outpatient procedure.
Okay, so how did this start? You just had a irritated back disc thing?
Goes all the way back to high school. It's an old fucking injury that I've never wanted to get surgery. Just over the years, I've done pain management with epidurals or Pilates, physical. I've tried everything, acupuncture. I was one of those people who were like, what worked for me? And what I want to say is, shut the fuck up. Yes, I've tried it. it.
Lower back, upper back, what are we talking about?
Back.
Okay. So now you're in pain all the time? Like, what was it?
Nonstop, like 7/8,
Oh, fuck.
And I finally go to this surgeon, and he was a good surgeon. He said, I don't want to operate on you. And his quote was, until your quality of life is affected. I said, fair enough. He's like, it's still surgery. I said, you're right. Well, a few months later, I was headlining the Troubadour here in Hollywood, and I couldn't feel either of my legs. And I sat on a stool because I had to sit on a fucking stool.
You're on stage doing this?
It's the first time in 20 years I've ever sat on a stool on stage, because I literally could not walk. I couldn't feel. I was like, oh, fuck, these aren't working. Usually it was just my left leg. And I would, if you ever watch me, I say all the time, I can even feel the muscle memory. I would rock back on my right hip and put all my weight on this leg and take a little off of this one because it was always numb.
Yeah, Jesus.
So I finally went in. He was like, man, and he had said what happened was my nerves, because it was so old, they hardened, and then they wrapped around my spine and started squeezing my spine, and that's why now both of them are going numb. I have bone spurs back there. The holes for L3, 4, and 5 for your nerves to pass through are completely closed.
Oh, fuck.
He's like, I don't know how the fuck you lived like this.
And didn't complain nonstop.
Yeah.
I've never heard you complain once.
And you know, you get used to it, which is what's wild. And he's even said as a surgeon, he's like, I've seen shit from human beings where I'm like, wow, how in the fuck did you take this? And he's like, you're going to be a new man, you know, all this stuff. So it gets all cleaned up. He re-drills the holes. Then he's got he said something about a casing around my nerves also was gone. He rebuilt all these things.
Shit.
So I'm supposed to go home and then just chill for a minute and then move around. That is the rehab for this, is blood flow. Get up, move around. So I go home and it's not healing properly. It's bulging up and it's getting bigger and bigger back there when it's supposed to get smaller and smaller.
So you're seeing it get...
And he gives me his personal cell and he's like, you send me pictures on Saturday and Sunday. And if it doesn't get better, I want to have you come back in. And he says, now what you do is you lay down. Instead of getting up and moving around, for you, if you lay down, this might be a small tear. It could heal itself. Doesn't, I go back in, they open me back up, they fix it. It was a small little 1 millimeter tear. I said, how'd that happen? They said it could have been anything. You were coughing, coming out of amnesia, like anything could happen.
Wow.
So small.
That's so insane.
Great. So I lay there.
And are you in pain now, or is it still like wearing off?
Right now?
Like, no, like,
Yeah, I'm still like drugged up and coming out of anesthesia and things like that. But I have been very clear with everyone that I have something called, so many people clip this and put it all together from all the podcasts I've said this on. I have this genetic blood disease called factor V Leiden. There are definitely some of your listeners that have it. And there are some people like yourself maybe that might have it, not ever fucking know you have it. You can live to be 110, never know you have this shit. So it's a genetic blood disease that you're prone to clotting. So my blood is thicker like syrup, right? And the only reason I know this is because in 2016, I had kidney stones. Both my legs end up clotting because I'm on bed rest. And then it takes them 6 months of thinking I have cancer, leukemia, lymphoma. Like, it's freaking me the fuck out. And then they find out it's this that I have. So they don't put me on blood thinners the rest of the time. They just put me on them to reset me. And then tell me, hey, you need to move your machine every 90 fucking minutes. Don't take long drives without getting up. I fly on a plane, I wear compression pants, I get up, I move around. I'm the guy in the back stretching my quads and shit. That's me back there.
I hate that guy.
That's
just
me.
Sit down, man.
Just so I don't die. It's just me so I don't die. You know,
I'll stop.
I know you want me to sit down, but if I don't fucking do this, we're taking this bitch down to Kansas City, and you're trying to get to New York. All right? Because I'm dead on that motherfucker.
Okay. I'll never judge you. Excuse me, this fucking guy's got diarrhea. Why does he sit down?
I'm so insecure about a lot of things. I'll go into the bathroom and I'll stand in there and I'll do my quad stretches in there. You'll hear me hitting the door like, dum, dum. I know people are like, what's he doing in there?
Having the angriest shit, just get out, get out, get out, punching the door. I mean, you can't tell the stewardesses that you're just stretching, right?
They know. Sometimes they're back there and they'll ask. I'm like, I just have to stand up and stretch or whatever. They deal with this shit. There's probably 4 of these motherfuckers on every flight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So unfortunately now I'm not one of those assholes in the back, you know, and I'm back there. You got clots?
Yeah,
I got clots.
You're bonding over
clot
clots.
Corner back there, you know.
Clot corner, come on back. How big are your clots?
That's where I'm hanging out on the plane these days.
God.
So I've told everyone it's in my pre-op paperwork. I've told every surgeon that's touching me, every nurse that I've got this condition, and I cannot lay prone for an extended period of time or I'm a ticking time bomb and I will die. And they say, man, you're really worried about that, huh? And I go, yeah, it happened to me. I clotted in 2016 and almost died, and this is what we figured out caused it. Then figure out that my mom and 2 brothers don't have it, but my dad, who died at 42, does, and instead of actually being a heart attack, it's this that kills him. I find that out when I turn 42, which is wild.
God.
So now I'm hypersensitive
as you should
to this shit and laying day after day after day, and that's what they let me do. And then on the day I'm supposed to leave, it's MLK Day. I've already passed this one test, and I have to pass one more to go home, and it's a stairs test. And the lady says, I need you to walk up this little thing. It's a little 4 or 5 step thing they brought in my room, and I go up, I go down. She goes, now I need you to go up sideways, like you're holding a rail like this. And this is only because I have stairs getting into my apartment. And thank fucking God I have stairs to get into my apartment, because this test was done 1 day later, or I'm already fucking home, right? So I do the side tests, and sitcom timing, this fucking poor occupational therapist, this sweet lady says, Ryan, as your occupational therapist, I can tell you that you've just passed the necessary steps, literally, to go home, right? Now, I've been in the hospital. I'm supposed to be there 3 days. It's day 9 at this point.
Okay.
And she says that, and I collapse on the bed. And I grab my chest, and she's like, are you okay? And I say, I'm clotting. She's like, what? I go, I'm clotting. She calls a doctor in. This doctor comes in. He's like, what's happening? I was like, I'm clotting. This has happened to me before. This is what I fucking told you guys.
Fuck.
What are you feeling? I'm feeling 3 elephants on my chest. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Like, this has happened to me before. He's like, keep talking to me. He's taking my blood pressure. He's like, your blood pressure is dangerously low. And I go, oh, fuck. He goes, what? And I go, I feel it. He goes, what? I go, heart attack 101 symptoms. I hear pain in my jaw. Now it's shooting down my arm. This motherfucker says, sir, you might be having a heart attack and clotting. And then that was death. I blackout.
Oh, my God.
That's it. That would have been the last thing I heard if I had to go to the other side.
Oh, my God. So now, is it because the pain or just like the shock of it all? You're like,
I don't even know.
You're like, that's it. We're
It's
done.
so incredibly painful, and also I don't know if this shit just killed me or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
You're like, and
it's like
that's
somebody
that,
just
yeah.
went and pushed my button and
Yeah.
it went boo.
Fuck.
There was no thought going through my mind like, is this what's killing me? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
You're just
you're like,
in so
that's it.
much pain.
Yeah.
You're trying to listen. You're trying to communicate what's going on to people.
God.
You don't also have the capacity to be like. And then when he said, I think my system was like, fuck this,
Yeah.
and just shut it all out.
Jesus.
And then
Christ.
I genuinely don't know how long I was out. I was out for some time. And then when I woke up, there was this little Filipina nurse, this little cute old lady over my face just looking at me. And I was looking around and I went, I said, am I still going home today? She goes, no, your discharge has been canceled, sir. And I was like, I thought so.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they're wheeling me to get CT scans to see what the fuck is going on in my...
Is it too loud? Oh, so
Oh, she is. Suze!
No, she's not. What's her going? I know. Oh, she's hitting the camera. Oh, stop. Look. I think she's eating the camera. I was like, oh, God, she's eating the camera? That's a problem. Okay. Sorry, my dog. I gotta stop bringing her here.
It's okay. They take me into the CT scans. They check me out. They bring me back to my room, and now you're just sitting there waiting to find out what happens to you. And they tell me
Are you in pain here now?
Oh,
Are you feeling like
fuck
you feel like
yeah!
you're like crazy?
But they've just plugged me up with Dilaudid in my IV, which I don't like. I've been saying this so much. I know some people like it. It absolutely works for the pain. Your pain's fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I started hallucinating on it and tripping hard. Like you would be talking to me right now, and just casually, chunks of your facial flesh are falling off and smacking the table.
Oh my
realistically, the
God.
stringy things are there. I see the bone underneath. Boom, and I'd be like, Steph, your face is falling off. Your mask would be on because they make you wear it in the hospital.
yeah.
And it would be flipping up and down.
I don't like
Finally,
it.
I
You're
was like, yo, get this shit out of my IV.
I can't
I
do
did.
this right
I
now.
called her. I was like, get it out. They're like, it'll help your pain. I go, I don't care. Give me oral. Give me the
yeah.
oral ones. They're more than enough. I'm weed and I'm shrooms. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm no acid, coke. I don't want to go up.
No.
I want to go here or just take a dip. Just a dip.
little dip.
I don't want to go
Just
down
a
here
tiny dip.
and take depression naps.
The
Just a
shallow
little bit.
end.
Yeah,
You're
just
not
hit the
going
brakes a
deep.
little bit.
Yeah. Do you hallucinate on those drugs or no? You're good.
No, it was all that. And also, it's not just Dilaudid. They're giving me fucking steroids. They're just pumping me full of everything. So once I wake up and go, they tell me that they start with the good news, the shit sandwich. And they're like, hey, so you didn't have a heart attack. And I'm like, okay. They're like, but you had a cardiac incident. I'm like, all right. They're like, your heart. I guess these clots went through my heart and it made my heart swell.
Jesus.
So it was 6 days, I think, before that. So they're like, you're going to be here until your heart goes down. I'm like, how long is that going to be? And like, it could be a number of days. I'm like, fuck.
I love that.
But also, okay, I'm not in a fucking hotel right now. I'm in the place I need to be, right?
Yeah, you're not rushing out of there.
Then they tell me that I have, unfortunately, I have massive pulmonary embolisms all over in my lungs. And I'm thinking, Steph, I've got one clot.
And they're like, you
have extensive ones and they're massive. And what I learned about clots is that they could be in your lungs. Each one of us is different. So they said at the size of these, they're realistically going to be in my lungs for at least a year.
Oh my God.
And then your body just naturally gets rid of them. The blood thinners don't make the clots go away. They prevent new clots from coming in. So that's what they put me on. Is she out? She's sleeping.
She just I don't know why she's fucking with your, no, she just keeps knocking your fucking camera.
It's the camera.
So at what point were you almost like, I fucking told you so?
I mean, the whole time after that.
Like,
you know, I even had one surgeon in particular. So they tell me there's 4 different guys. So now they're like, fuck your back. Basically, your back is the last thing we're worried about. But that's what the fuck I'm in there for. So the reason I'm still on light duty and not in, like, I'm getting around, but I can't get around really.
Yeah.
I can't lift anything heavier is because the surgery was supposed to be about moving around, but now this happens, and I spent the month of January, the whole month in Cedars-Sinai on my back flat, trying to survive this.
Yeah.
And the back is just, and I'm supposed to be having it in physical therapy and shit. So and then when you get out, it's still 2, 3, 4 more weeks before I'm up. I'm still at home bed rest. So my back is way delayed on recovery.
Okay.
Because this became what was necessary, and that's the right call in that situation. So they moved me from a spinal surgeon who still has to check me or check in with me to a pulmonologist. I've got a cardiologist, I've got a hematologist, and an oncologist wants to see me. And this dude comes in and goes, I'm an oncologist. He was very businessy. He goes, in no way do you have cancer, but this is my business card. I deal with blood. I want to check in on you. So they tell me, 4 different surgeons tell me there's no reason I'm alive. I should absolutely be dead. There's something watching over me in this room that you have no idea. Like, there was a point where they told me, like, it's at this point where you should probably make some calls. And I was like, huh? They're like, it's there. So it's like it's like a 24 to 48 hour window where they don't know.
Who did you call?
I called my daughter's mother first.
Fuck.
I've been talking about this. I called Tom Segura. He's one of my best friends in comedy. He's like, "What? Is there anything I could do?" And I was like, "Yeah, my special's about to come out. Put that shit on your YouTube, not my YouTube. Your YouTube, please, and give my daughter all the money." He said, "You got it, man." I said, "That's all I want."
Oh my God, that's such a hilarious second call.
All I want.
Tag me though. Tag me. Make sure.
Tag me. I'm dead. Tag me.
Tag me some of those followers. Can you post on your Instagram too?
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
I had to call. I called my cousin, my brothers.
Did you talk to your daughter, or were you just that's?
It was tough because I didn't want her to see me like that, so I would voice call.
Okay.
But we always FaceTime.
Yeah.
So then once I was sort of starting to feel better and had a little more answers, I would FaceTime.
Yeah.
And I'd take the oxygen off because that freaked her out. So, but they wouldn't let me see her, right? So.
Because could anyone come visit you at this point?
Yeah, I was allowed to have some visitors, but you know, it's funny because people were like, "Did you think about your daughter's, her wedding and shit?" And I'm like, no, not one time did I think about the things. I didn't future trip, which I mean, man, I was mentally strong as fuck, which I can't believe. There were times I broke down for sure, but I didn't future trip on, I'm gonna miss my kid's graduation or this shit or that shit. I was like, all right. And I started telling these doctors everything, and they're like, "You're one of the most astute patients about themselves that we've had." So they also tell me that I'm very lucky to be alive, not only because of what happened to me, but also because I'm in the hospital. And I'm thinking just the hospital, I'm like, yeah, I would have gone home yesterday, and I said I definitely would have called 911 for what I was feeling.
Yeah.
And they said, you wouldn't have made it. They're like, this hospital, the hospital where you had your daughter, great baby, hospital to have a baby. terrible hospital for this. I go, yeah, who you telling? They're the motherfuckers that told me I didn't have clots and let me go home with this shit. They're like, you should have died then. I go, I know. Which is why the fuck I've been telling you all that I have
clots, damn it.
So they tell me that.
Next time, make sure it says, I have fucking clots, and go to the hospital.
I should have wore a shirt for real.
Literally.
So they tell me that that hospital in particular has a program for exactly what happened to me. However, I come in with this degenerative blood disease, so I become sort of, these are my words, a bit of a case study to them, because they tell me, you're not fucking leaving this hospital until everyone on all teams agrees. And I was like, yeah, please. That's the plan, because if Dr. Tolev here is one of the 12 that says, you all are like, yeah, we're good, and you're like, I'm like, fuck you, 11. You tell me what the fuck you see, because I don't want to leave until I'm 100%. So every day they test your blood, and every day there's something different. And every day that means 2 more days, because now I got to fast for 12 hours and it's overnight. In the morning it takes. So it's not like they told me, look, you're going to be in the hospital for a month. I would have been able to mentally, brace for that. It was, you're getting out tomorrow, and then a new test. No, you're not. You're getting out tomorrow. No, you're not. So I eventually had a dry erase board, and I put a rule up on there. I told them to write up there that do not tell me I'm getting out tomorrow. And the other one was, they would come in and they'd be like, because I talked to my business manager about disability insurance. And I was like, I don't know. These motherfuckers, you know how insurance are. They'll say we could wheel on stage and tell jokes. We could wheel up to a table and podcast. And the surgeon goes, you could stroke. And I went, I hadn't even thought about stroke. Like, oh my God. I was like, I couldn't do my job then. And so then I was like, listen, they were like, here's the other thing. If the clots aren't going down, we're going to have to do another procedure where we take a tube. It's about as big as your pinky. It's simple. We put it in your groin. I'm like, right there. Does not sound simple at all. Right there is beyond simple for me. Simple's a fucking pinprick. You know what I mean? A little, in my groin, they tell me they put it up in your lungs, and a machine sucks the clots out of your lungs. They're like, you could be out of here tomorrow. I'm like, there's no. And then what they say is,
that's bad.
But because of my bullshit blood disease, they're like, you could brain bleed or be a vegetable. And vegetable's my word. I'm like, we're not doing that.
No,
that's all. They're like, just so you know, they can't do any procedures without you signing. I'm like, yeah, we're not. Just don't even present that.
Yeah, don't bring a pen in here because I'm not signing shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
Get it.
Suck me out, and then I don't have a brain anymore. What the hell?
So yeah, 30 days almost. I lay in there all of January on my back. If I could roll out of bed and get to my walker and go from here to that wall, which is where my restroom was, and sit to pee and pull myself up and go back to the bed, that was the Boston Marathon for me. So that's why I say I'm grateful. I can't complain about where I'm at physically, although I've got a long way to go. But this was, I only got out at the end of January. We just started May, and I was still on bed rest for almost a month at my home. So I'm only like about 60 days out. I'm grateful to be able to get around and promote my special Lefty Son. Watch it on YouTube, y'all. The special's out now.
I'll tag it in this description too.
And I'm lucky. I shot that just weeks before I went in, because I knew I was going in for this surgery. And I also...
Did you edit it before too? You had it all ready to go?
No, I was doing it in the hospital with my friend Sam, who was doing it. I was like, listen, he's like, man, because he's worked on specials before with like Comedy Central. And he's like, Ryan, there'll be 12. I'm going to say this out loud too. There'll be like 12 execs giving notes. And he's like, they don't watch it. I go, I know they don't. They'll wait for like you to give a note, and they'll go, I agree with Steph, and here's some more bullshit that isn't different and doesn't help anything, but just justifies my job at this company, right? So what he did was purposely put like a random YouTube frame, just like an Easter egg, in the middle of this special he was working on. And just like you'd be watching Steph's special, and all of a sudden there's this weird YouTube like in the middle, where obviously someone would go, hey, that little weird YouTube thing, make sure you get that cut out.
Yeah.
And he knew no one was watching it. And he put it in there. Not one person noted it. Not one of them. Because they weren't watching it. They're not watching it. We're doing everything.
That's so funny.
So I told him, like, he's like, I go, I know the PTSD you have from working with all these people who just have jobs to justify. But here's what I'm about to tell you. I just almost died. You're going to get the lightest notes pass you've ever fucking gotten. If you think I'm going to be like, let's look at the other angle on that, you can fuck off. It's going to be the easiest pass you've ever had, you know? So, because I directed it, I produced it, I did all that with him. So I was like, yeah, let's try this. What about that? Like simple shit. And then that was it. So he did all of it. That's what I kept telling Tom. It's in good hands. We can get it to you. Just make sure it goes on your YouTube.
Did you, how much weight did you lose from all this?
I lost 15 pounds, but now I've gained about 10 because I'm back to eating and I still can't exercise.
Oh, yeah.
And when you take on your regular amount of calories and you don't move, you pack on the pounds.
God damn.
But I don't care. I'm healthy right now.
No, I was just saying, you still look smaller.
I need weight.
Yeah.
I needed weight.
Yeah,
just to get it on me. Now I got to get it off.
My fucking God. Because I remember seeing, like, I'm going into surgery.
You and I were texting about coming on here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Before all this happened, you're going to surgery. Yes. And then all of a sudden, I saw, like, this, because it wasn't cryptic, but it was like, I can't get into it right now. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And
because also, like, I was texting with Robert Kelly. We were supposed to be recording, and I kept telling him, like, just push 2 more days. I'm going to be out of here, you know, because that's what they kept saying. You're going to be out. You're going to be out. You're going to be out. Yeah. And then, shit went bad.
My God. Okay, do you have to go to, bad. Like, how much would this, America's fucked. Like, isn't one day in the hospital like $800?
I can tell you this, it's not completely billed yet, but the first bill that they billed, my insurance company billed the hospital.
Okay.
Is $500,000 already, and we're not even that's not even the whole bill yet.
Oh.
For a month of laying there.
My $500,000. People are dying.
Yeah.
Nobody can afford this.
And let me tell you something
crazy.
Here's the way it works if you don't know. I'm fortunate in a weird fucking twisted way that this happened to me at the beginning of the year. Because if this happens to me in December, I have to meet my out-of-pocket maximum, which is $10,000. And then come January, we're doing it again. Mm-hmm. So this year, everything right now, because I've met my out-of-pocket maximum, I've Blue Shield Silver, okay? Not even the gold. I've got out-of-pocket maximum, but then you still have things that you don't realize. Like when you go like, well, you still have to pay your copay for this. I'm like, do I? Yeah, because it's this and this. I'm like, how much is your copay? It's $2,000. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you got to pay $25. You know, it's like, this is covered, but only at 25%. This is this is that. So I've already been overbilled $3,500 that I've gotten back now, thank God, because these guys are helping me look through these bills and shit. They've gotten stuff lowered, and because that's outrageous. It's outrageous to bill
it's absolutely $500,000. It's
for
crazy.
One person to lay in this bed
and to keep them a fucking life.
Yeah,
like you're not there to hang out. You're not staying in an Airbnb for too long.
I'm not taking advantage of shit.
No, you don't want to fucking be there.
No. And also, I keep a small footprint, Steph. I would tell them, come in. Give me my pain meds. Give me a water. Give me a Diet Coke, and then
that's it.
I won't bug you again until it's time for my pain meds or my vitals.
Yeah.
That's it. And they loved it.
Were you getting laughs in there?
Yeah, some of them, they looked me up out in the thing, and they knew who I was. So it's funny you say that.
Because I was gonna be like, I'm like, you're in there long enough. You're making friends with
this one surgeon comes in. He was so awesome. He's the one that told me, I'm
gonna kill my dog. I'm gonna kill my dog. She's never done this before. Susan.
Is this Susan? Is this story making you uncomfortable?
Stay over there. I just threw her. Get over here. On the side. Here. On the side. Go over here. Lie down over there. Sorry. This is very professional setting.
It's
I have
okay.
your right. I have to keep.
I bring my dog to work all the time.
Yeah, but your dog doesn't fucking do this.
She's smaller. So the surgeon comes in and he tells me he's awesome. He was great. And the other thing too that I noticed is starting to change is, man, there were a lot of young doctors. Not old white dudes that are always been like, well, what's your diet?
Yeah.
You know, they were like, I would talk to them like, I smoke marijuana. Is this the end of me smoking marijuana? They're like, no, you can smoke as much marijuana as you want. I'm like, but how? They go, first of all, we're doctors. And this is a 2-part message. We don't want anyone smoking anything. Okay, nothing. That's our message as a doctor. However, we understand everyone is human. So if you're going to partake, you do not have tobacco, you do not vape, and also you can't drink alcohol because of the blood thinners you're on. Okay. Outside of that, cannabis and shrooms once in a while, because that's exactly what I said I do. They're like, it'll never fucking hurt you. And I was like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah, you're like, okay.
Even with flying, I couldn't believe they're like, you can fly in a week. And I was like, what? They're like, we prefer 90 days, but we've had patients who've absolutely had to. There was a lady, they told me that her daughter was being married in Florida like the next day, and she's like, I gotta fly. And she fucking flew like fresh, like I was, like the next day.
Fuck.
Which I'd be like, I'm missing that. I'm missing that wedding.
Yeah,
y'all.
Sorry.
FaceTime me into that wedding, y'all.
Send me the Zoom link. I ain't fucking flying to Florida.
No.
People are crazy.
So this guy goes, you did nothing wrong. This is not lifestyle. This is a mistake. Your friend, the one who dunk. And I started laughing so fucking hard. I'm like, how do you know who I am and how do you know who he is?
Who's the dunk?
Tom, when he dunked and broke his arm, Segura. And he goes, he said, let's just say, my brother is a big fan of comedy. I go, okay, dude. He goes, him, stupid. Funny, but stupid. You, nothing wrong. And I go, all right, dude. I go, you ever want fucking tickets to the Comedy Store? You motherfucking let me know, bro. You saved my life. I'm dapping them up from my back.
Yeah. Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, it was a wild ride.
Have they come to see you yet?
No, he hasn't yet. And then the hardest part was my daughter, like,
because you couldn't see her for months.
Nah, almost to about 3 weeks in finally, because they wouldn't let her in. You had to be 12. And I just finally, like, after I saw the zoo that was, I was like, fuck you guys. Her mom's bringing her, not some babysitter or whatever. Her mom's bringing her. Well, it's COVID. I go, we don't care. It's been COVID.
Yeah.
Been COVID for 3 years.
Yeah.
My kid goes to school. She can wear a mask like everybody else and come in this room that's private with a door that's shut, and it's just the three of us in here.
You said your private room the whole time too?
Not the whole time. The first 9 days I was in Gem Pop, and that was that's a whole nother episode. That's a whole nother episode. But I finally got one. And like on day 10, I got my own room finally. And then the rest of the time was in that room. But they finally let her come. And, you know, I could tell how much she missed me. She was hugging on me and like uncomfortable, like doing things like, Dad, look at this, you know. And,
yeah, obviously.
And then I just went to Austin a few weeks ago to promote the special Lefty Son available on my YouTube now for free. And I was on doing the Dr. Drew show, and I took her to YMH, and they let her answer screen calls and shit. Yeah, she's in there screening calls like, Dad, this guy changed his name and called back. I'm like, they're sneaky. So we had this night in the hotel. We were in the hotel, and she just started like talking to me about the hospital. I go, what scared you the most? She's like, I didn't think you were going to make it. And because her teacher emailed me out of nowhere. I don't even know her teacher. Her teacher's like, hey, I just wanted to send wishes because your daughter said you're not doing great. I'm like, and it made me cry.
God, I'm like,
my kids at school going around and telling her friends my dad's not doing good.
Oh my God.
But she doesn't know about this. She just thinks everything is back-related surgery.
Yeah.
That's where we kept it, right?
Fuck, poor teacher. Oh my God.
So the teacher's like just upset for me. And then we're in this hotel, and she I go, what scared you the most? And she goes, seeing you with the oxygen tubes. I go, you know what, Stella? When I saw my dad with those tubes, I felt like, I don't care if you're The Rock. You put those tubes up your nose, it just makes you look feeble and weak. And, no one looks so just powerless. The Rock
still, I feel, would look kind of jacked though.
He would look hot, but he'd still look like he'd look like a weaker Rock. There'd be some cracks in that rock. You know what I mean? Some chips off that rock. And then she just started crying, and she hugged me hard, and she's like, you made it out, Dad. You made it out. And I was like, oh, God. I started crying. Oh, my God. I lost it. I was like, I did make it out. I made it. 'Cause a lot of people go to hospitals to die.
Right there. Yeah.
You know? And, you know, it was I don't know. It was just a really nice, that was a nice moment. Having her in the hospital was a nice moment. And then, like, I couldn't do anything at first, so I'd be laying on my back at home, and her brother would bring her over, and we just play checkers for like 2 hours to give her mom a break and shit like that. So all that, and she didn't get it. Like, come play hide and seek. I'm like, listen, throw a blanket over my ass, and I'll hide right here. That's about as far as I can go.
This is it for now. This is hide and this is seek.
It's one time.
You a couple times.
I'm right here. Yeah.
Fuck. My God, this is insane.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking terrifying. And I kept telling Emily LaFord, too, you're not putting my name on that fucking marquee out front. That's the death sign out there. Like, I don't ever want my name on that. Y'all keep it.
The RIP, the Comedy Store sign. Fuck, that is.
Yeah, I was like, that ain't
Get
me.
better, Sickler. No. There's no.
Nothing. Nothing.
Fuck.
Don't even put me on that sign.
Because it was kept pretty hush hush. Like people were like kind of like.
Yeah, I'm just also
like
I'm off of social media. Like I'm paying, which is what I was going to talk to you about. I'm paying somebody to do it. The Chris Stefano way of it's just a time suck. It's ruining my life, and it's a job.
It is a job.
I've taken it, I feel like, as far as I can go with it, and now there are things they're telling me like, well, if you had a trending song, and I'm like, stop. Yeah, I am not looking up trending motherfucking songs and shit. Just not me.
No.
So you guys can take this clip and put a trending song under it, and I'll pay you all to do that. But I'm done. I'm getting off. And I kept it enough because so many people were asking. So I was like, this is what's going on. And then I didn't say anything until I got out. Yeah. Because honestly, I wasn't fucking sure. It was every day. You know what I mean? You want to be like, I'm going home tomorrow, and then every day, like, I'm not. You know what I mean? I didn't want to put that shit out there.
And you're not like you when you don't post like Instagram stories all the time. I would have been like, doctor did it again. And then I would have been the most annoying person in the hospital. They would have been like, can you please put your phone away? And it's me and a mustache going live while they're like, here goes the IV. Like,
that's what I mean.
Person.
That's not me.
No.
I just shut it down. And also I paid attention to these things. So I'm watching all of us on all these social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all these things, right? And I'm watching, I keep saying I think it was Sam Morrill that had a post, and I guess some Karen complained about something, and it was, now it's against the community guidelines, and it's a strike against it's like, man, we really don't have any power for anything when it comes to these things, right? And then I'm watching that this algorithm is different than this algorithm is different than this algorithm, and that's what I'm like, this is somebody's fucking job to figure all this shit out. I need to work on my new hour. I've got 2 podcasts I need to do. My special's out. I got to fly around the country and promote that. Like, I don't have time to figure out that I need to put this TikTok background where I'm rowing in a boat with Titanic and promote my motherfucking specials. I don't have time to figure that out.
Yeah. Also, like, because
I'm a single parent, a very involved single parent, and the other time I don't spend on the road or doing comedy. I'd like to spend with my kid, not trying to figure out TikTok's newest fucking trend.
No, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I don't think people realize the amount of time. I literally had to leave a guy's house last week. I'm like, I have to go home and edit a video. He's like, what? I'm like, I actually have to go home right now, and because I edit all my own clips, not my own podcast clips, thank God, but I edit all my own clips, and I'm like, I'm losing my mind. I'm at a point where I'm actually, and like, because of these negative comments, there's this one clip, there were so many of them, I'm gonna ask who you pay, because someone told me it's me $5,000 a month. I'm like, I can't be paying $5,000 a month. I don't make any money on this podcast. I can't be, where's the $5,000 a month coming from? It's absurd. If you want me to read an ad, please send in your ad, and I'd love to be happy to read
just trying
any
to support
ads.
My social
God
media team.
damn it, here. Trying to do anything.
Worst story you ever heard? What's the worst thing you ever heard? Oh yeah.
Well, I want to ask you one of my questions, but I feel like after you told me this, it's not even like going to be. It's not going to be. Because my favorite question is like, what's the worst body thing you've ever heard? But I feel like this is it.
In my life?
Yeah.
For me or anyone?
Anyone.
Oh, God, no. Hell no. I'll tell you this. I've just started asking, because I'm not a big crowd work guy either, but I was just like, I asked it in the belly room the other night, and I asked it in the main room. And no. OR and main room. And I said, has anybody in here ever had a near-death experience? And this fucking lady down here is telling me in the OR that basically when they were delivering her baby, they ripped her uterus out. And it almost killed her. And that was my mouth, too. And I was like, what?
Oh, my.
And then I was like, let me shut up about my little bitch-ass lungs. Your pussy got torn out, for Christ's sake.
Fuck.
Like, what the fuck am I? Perspective. So then the other night in the main room at the store, I say, has anybody ever been, and it's sold out, deep 300 and some or whatever.
Yeah.
And this guy right down front raised his hand. I hear a clap over here. I go to this guy because I can see him, right?
Yeah.
I go, what happened to you? This guy turns his head. He's got one of those haircuts where it's hair here, high ponytail, all shaved.
Yeah.
Right? And it comes down to like a V back here. That sort of.
Yeah.
And he's got this scar that goes like here, all the way around. So I'm thinking, this poor dude had a tumor, brain surgery, whatever. This motherfucker says, I got jumped by I got hit in the head by a hammer. I go, what? He goes, yeah, 4 dudes were trying to jump me. I was like, no offense, dude. It looks like they got your ass. Like, what are you talking about? He said they crushed his skull with this hammer. It was 4 of them. He beat all 4 of them up, knocked them out, and walked away. And I said, get the fuck. Again, I was like, I'm going to shut the fuck up about these pussy ass lungs. When did you go to the hospital? He's a couple hours later. I'm like, good God, dude.
How big was this guy?
Not a big dude. Looked like a little Tasmanian devil.
Really?
Yeah, like a little just feisty motherfucker.
Beat the fuck out of 4
He had these
of
heavy
them.
ass rings on. I went down to give him a fist bump. This motherfucker hit my hand. So I go, dude, I just told you I got out of surgery. What the fuck you George Foreman to me over here with these mitts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so there, and then I said, I don't know who clapped over here, but after this story, I don't even give a fuck. Glad you're alive.
Yeah, you're like, you ain't fucking topping that shit.
Like, I don't want to hear it.
My God. That's
Yeah.
fucked up.
But also from Tom Segura and Christina Pajitsky on my favorite podcast, Your Mom's House, I learned about prolapsed anuses.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about prolapsed anuses, but when I tune into theirs, there's 2 prolapsed anuses touching each other and bumping. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Why would they?
Because there's fetishes for everything.
I don't like that.
Me either.
That's bad.
It's terrible.
Langston Kerman was on last week and literally said that's one of his biggest fears is the prolapse ass. But the image of 2 touching, now we've got problems.
Intentionally.
Here. Well,
For sport.
For sport.
Yeah, for porn. Yeah.
That people are
Like yours is out, mine's out, and I'm like, Steph, let's put them together and bump them.
Are they like slapping? Or are they like, this is so gross? That's
They're
so
touching.
gross.
They're bumping each other. Like
Women or men?
I think it was women.
No,
I'm
put
wrong.
it back in.
I'm wrong
Put it back
about-
in.
yeah,
put it back up.
in.
It should be out like
Sometimes
that.
you need surgery to get it put back in.
No, I don't like that.
Gotta
Might
go
be
in there with
the
that.
worst things that's been said on the air.
You asked.
I know I asked. I can't
ASSCD.
handle some of my own fucking questions. God damn it. Last night in the OR, there was what were you gonna say?
I got a good one. Another one I
Okay,
just thought
okay,
of.
good.
While I was in Gen Pop, I won't get into it, but there was this junkie in there who was the worst person, treated the staff like shit until he got his morphine. Then he was like, I love you, Steph. You know, that
God,
asshole.
yeah.
This guy's foot was rotting. All right, now I put all this together from sound. I'm laying on my back in Gen Pop. I just have curtains around me. He's diagonal. There's a room here, and he's right over there. I'm an extended stay, but like the room next to me could be you coming in for 3 hours because you just had thumb surgery.
Okay.
So some people are in there playing music, having a good time, and I'm like, well, you shut the like it's day 6 for me, motherfucker, and I
shut
want
the
to go
fuck
home.
up.
But homeboy is bitching that the lauded that I'm telling you about in the IV is not working for him, and they come back and they tell him like, look, man, this is all we've got. If this doesn't work for you, then we may have to take your foot. And they start telling him that this last-ditch effort thing that they're going to do is maggot therapy. And his foot is so rotted that they're going to put maggots on. It's some medieval shit. And eat the dead flesh away. And if that doesn't work, it's Chop City. And I start looking that shit up on my phone. I'm like, oh, my God.
I got to get out of this room. Put the maggot guy in his own room. I feel like maggot foot deserves its own private, caged in.
For real.
Did they do it?
I don't know. I got out of there before it happened, but it didn't
I would have
sound
been like,
good.
I would have been like, emergency,
It
emergency,
didn't
get me the fuck
sound
out.
good for him. over
That's so fucked up.
there. Yeah. So
Megafoot is bad. No, I don't
maggot
like that.
foot, yeah.
Fuck. I was going to say if I did the fucking OR last night. It was a charity event for a hospital. So I was like, did a lot of because I heard Finesse Mitchell showed up for me. He's asking if there are a lot of nurses in here, and they a lot of them cheered. I'm like, okay, great. So I'm like, I went up. I'm like, I got a question for the nurses. How much stuff you guys finding up the ass? Because I love asking that. My very profound
I
question.
gave you one.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Out the
stuff
ass, actually. I
outside
gave
the
you out
ass,
the
but there's a lot of stuff in the ass. Like I've heard of hairbrushes in there, a lot of fruits and vegetables, a lot of stuff gets sucked in the ass. Unless you have a flared base, you gotta read about it. You gotta have a flared base. That's why a lot of dildos have a flared base, otherwise you get sucked in there. And I'm like, they get quiet. I go, hello, what's in the asses? And then a guy just goes, hi, raises his hand. He goes, we work for the Children's Hospital. And I was like, okay,
Somebody's gotta tell it.
so nothing's in the asses. Thank God. Thank God nothing's in the asses. I was
Who's
so
gonna
embarrassed.
tell it? They're all
and
looking
they're all like
around.
looking, and he like put his hand up
Greg,
so
you
quietly.
better say something.
He said, there's children. And then I was like, okay. He's like, there's been a teenager that had something in it, but, and I was like, we don't need to say anything else. I'll go back to ripping on the front row. We don't need to say anything else. I felt so bad. It was so embarrassing. My fucking God. Okay, we got to wrap this up very shortly.
Okay.
One other question I have that I would like to ask is, did you ever, your parents say anything weird things growing up to you about like your body stuff, like any weird wives' tales that would freak you out? But I feel like this maggot thing is just never going to end in my head now. That's my life.
No, just dumb shit like crossing your eyes, and if somebody hits you, it'll get stuck that way. Or we used to scare my little brother. We used to be like around the corner of the house, and he'd come around and be like, oh, and he'd be like, oh. And my dad's like, you're going to give him brain damage. He used to say that all the time. He said that would cause brain damage.
I've never heard that before.
He made that shit up on the spot.
Poor guy.
So we would stop, but it just encouraged us. We're like, we're going to fuck his brain up.
Have you told your daughter any weird things to get her to like stop doing shit?
Let's see. I'm straight up. Like I've already had my daughter's 8. And at the time she was 7, we've already had to talk about fentanyl, everything.
wow.
It's on the buses. It was on the back of a bus today. 1 pill will kill you, it said. She's like, Dad, that's the fentanyl. I'm like, yup. That's exactly what the fuck that shit is, because it's in our world big time.
Oh, it's bad.
So I'm having adult conversations with a kid because,
You have to.
you know, even cocaine in the 80s or marijuana or whatever, it wasn't killing you. This shit is 2 milligrams and you're gone. There goes your child. There goes everything. You know, like.
Over what? One night of partying? It makes no sense.
I tell her, I said, don't you take any candy or anything from anybody. She goes, what if my teacher, I said, if your teacher's giving you candy, it's fine.
Yeah, that's.
I go, but when you go to parties, not your friends' birthday parties, but when you get older and you're going out places, you don't take anything from anyone. You just tell them, oh, my dad will give me gummy worms. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
No, you
And
fucking
don't worry
have
about
to.
being cool or peer pressure. Man, I said, how cool is dead?
Yeah, literally.
You know, we have real conversations.
No,
so.
that's good. I want to like do a PSA on here too. I tried to do MDMA like a month or maybe like 4 months at this point. I mentioned this before, but we tested it and it was positive fentanyl. And I threw it down the fucking toilet.
Wait, what happened?
I tried to do MDMA, Molly, and we tested it.
Off the street?
No, we got a friend of a friend. And I bought this Amazon kit of $50 off Amazon. I'm like, I'm not gonna do the cheap fucking testing thing.
And you would have been
$50.
dead. There goes Steph Tolev.
That's it. It was 4 comics of it. We're gonna do it that night. And I was like, it was not like a crazy amount, but I'm like, any amount of fentanyl, I'm like, we're done. I'm done. I'm done now. That's why mushrooms and fucking weed, that's it. I'm not fucking putting anything else in my body.
They're trying to put it in the weed too, but don't buy it off the street. Buy it at the dispensaries where it's legal. Man, are you serious?
Yeah,
it was
it's
in there?
fucking scary.
So now are you just being like, fuck,
now.
yeah.
I don't think I'll ever do those drugs
listen,
again. I'm like, we're done.
You can't. Like,
No, you can't.
It's just literally, no joke, not safe to do drugs anymore.
No.
It's not. It's very fucking different now.
No, it's
There's
terrifying.
poison in our drugs.
Yeah, we live in hell.
The funniest way that you could die.
Okay, final question.
Okay.
Even though I feel bad because it's almost happened to you. The funniest way you could die.
For me,
Yeah.
that's a good question. The funniest way I could die. I think for me, the way I would answer that question would probably be something embarrassing, and it would be funny for other people, not funny for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like choking on a fucking cheese curl or something, and they're like, this motherfucker went out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is, but I don't. I mean, I would have to be some naked. Definitely being naked would be involved.
Yeah. That's
Publicly naked would be involved. Yeah.
That's definitely the
and it would
most
be a
embarrassing.
scene. It would be a scene too. It wouldn't be a quiet like down. Of course, it would be dramatic.
People
and,
filming it, people going
recording
live.
it forever.
Yeah.
Then it becomes memes and shit like that. Yeah, that's probably
Okay,
these
yeah,
days.
yeah,
I
yeah,
forget
yeah,
about
yeah.
these days.
These days, we live in fucking hell. Well, thank you so much for coming on and doing. That was so informative and so scary. And I'm so glad you're live.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Listen to Honeydew. Where else can they find you? Lefty Son on YouTube. Where can they find you? What online? Where follow you?
RyanSickler.com. Ryan Sickler on all social media.
Go find them. Send in your body stories. Not enough for you sending them in. I'm getting peed off. Getting peeved. Send in your body stories. Follow me on YouTube. Follow my Instagram. All the crap. Thank you so much. And bye.